IGCSE Computer Science Syllabus Statement 1.1.1d. Use binary and computer registers for a given application. So, when computers or microprocessors are used to control devices, they make use of registers. A register is a small amount of available storage used for a specific purpose, and with quick access time. So basically, a group of bits. So, like, if you remember binary, we know that from the last video, data is stored using bits, bytes, and kilobytes, megabytes, and so on. Remember that it's all a bunch of ones or zeros, a bunch of bits. So a register is basically a group of bits. So it's often depicted as something like this. So we'll look into it right now. So like, you might get a question on the exam saying an 8-bit register is used to control a specific device, such as a washing machine in this instance. So you might get something like this. So it'll tell you which bit here represents what function it performs. So basically how it's used is, well, probably say each of these squares here, or columns, is given a bit of 0 or 1. So for example, this, as you can see, there's a 1 here, 0 here, 1 here, 0 here, so on. So here, if you remember in binary, 1 is on or true, and 0 is off or false. And the true and false thing, this whole thing with binary is called Boolean, which I don't think you need to know for the course, but, well, I mean, you're going to get something called Boolean algebra, but I think that's as far as you go. But I'm not, like, actually I can't think of anything off the top of my head where else you would use it besides that. Okay, so in this case, if machine on is true, because it has a value of 1 here. Valve on is true, because it has a value of 1. Agitator off is true, because it has a value of 1. And pump is off, because it has a value of 1. So the rest are false, as they have zeros. So therefore, this is the effect that it would have on the washing machine if the register contained these bits. So what if the register contained these bits? So machine on is true, valve off is true, agitator on is true, and pump off is true. The rest, of course, are false. So that's the effect that it would have. So you might also get a question saying, what would the register contain if only the machine was on and the agitator was on? So what we do is we look at the question and we see machine on is true because it's on, and agitator on is true because it's on. So the rest are off. So basically, let's look at machine. So machine on is true and machine off is false. Valve on is false, which means that valve off should be true. And agitator on is true. That means agitator off is false. And pump on should be false, and pump off should be true. So what would the register contain if only the machine was on and the pump was on? So again, we look at the question. Machine on is true, and pump on is true. The rest are off. So machine on is true, machine off is false. Valve on is false, valve off is true. Agitator on is false, agitator off is true. And pump on is true, and pump off is false.